contest the violation and view na makikita nila kung paano sila nag-commit ng violation. And also, kapag naka-receive kayo ng notices, you can view doon sa website ng Quezon City Government NCAP program na meron, makikita mo doon kung paano mo na-commit ang violation. Ilalagin mo lang yung PIN number na binigay sa'yo.
The Metro Manila Development Authority has been implementing the no-contact apprehension policy since 2016. From January to May this year, the MMDA has recorded over 52,000 violations. Most of these violations are disregarding traffic signs and obstruction. Other cities in Metro Manila that also implement the no-contact apprehension policy include Manila, Valenzuela, and Parañaque. George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
The health department reported 97 more BA.5 cases. This is on top of the 43 reported on Tuesday, bringing the total of 140 BA.5 cases found in samples tested between June 29th and July 4. Of the 140 cases, 4 of them remain in isolation. 129 are asymptomatic and have recovered. The agency is still checking the status of the 7 other patients. Most of these cases are from Western Visayas and Metro Manila. Others are from Calabarzon, the Ilocos region, Central Luzon, Bicol, Central and Eastern Visayas, Mimaropa, and Northern Mindanao.
Pero kailangan mag-iingat tayo sa pag-conclude dito sa ating mga nakikitang resulta. Ang ating genome sequencing process is being done purposively. Hindi po natin nakaka-capture lahat na nagpo-positibo sa ating bansa, and therefore, hindi lahat ng positibo ay nakakapag-undertake ng genome sequencing. Meaning, yung atin pong mga resulta might be biased, no? Kasi hindi pa ho natin nakikita yung kompleto for the rest of the country. Based from the recent sequencing result, pinakamadami ang BA.5.
Authorities add 17 of the recent 20 additional BA.2.12.1 cases have already recovered. These latest batch of patients with the subvariants are from Metro Manila, Western Visayas, Calabarzon, Cordillera, Ilocos region, and some returning Filipinos. Meanwhile, all 7 BA.4 cases reported on Tuesday have recovered. They are from Bicol and Metro Manila. Overall, the country has logged 8,248 new COVID-19 cases in the week of June 30 to July 8. That's an average of nearly 1,200 cases a day. No health secretary still exactly a week after Bongbong Marcos was inaugurated as president, but health officials say the president already gave instructions on how to improve COVID-19 vaccine coverage and the response to the pandemic. Mr. Marcos met with them on Wednesday. The officials, however, say details of the directives will be announced by the office of the president. When asked if the redefinition of fully vaccinated to include booster shots has been discussed, Health Undersecretary Vergeres says it still needs further studies and consultation.
So kailangan po ng patuloy na pag-uusap, kailangan din po ng konsultasyon dun sa magpapatupad nito. So we will be announcing through the Office of the President the directives, and also of course, we will be supporting whatever the decisions would be. What I can tell all of you would be with the discussions yesterday at saka mga rekomendasyon nga po ng Kagawaran ng Kalusugan, naging very supportive naman po ang ating Presidente. He discussed with us, binigyan niya po kami ng pointers at guidance.
The health department has repeatedly urged the public to take a COVID-19 booster shot if eligible amid the threat of Omicron subvariants. Iloilo City is prohibiting the entry of poultry and poultry products from areas in Luzon and Mindanao suffering from bird flu outbreak. That is for 30 days beginning today. Mayor Jerry Trenya says the move will help prevent the spread of the disease. Exempted from the ban are transshipments of day-old chicks, day-old pullets, hatching eggs, and imported game fowls from international airports and seaports. Trenya says he has received assurances of enough supply from local producers.
To protect the industry here in Iloilo, Panay, and Guimaras, the poultry operators came to me and told me that they are very concerned. According to the poultry operators in Panay, they will be able to accommodate the demand for Panay.
When asked if the ban could be Extended Trenya says it remains to be seen since they're having problems coordinating with the Agriculture Department, which is concurrently headed by President Marcos. Up next, the President abolishes some offices under his watch in his first executive orders. A look at what that means. And the manufacturer of a popular instant noodle brand insists it follows safety standards despite health warnings from 3 European countries. You're watching CNN Philippines.
SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay. SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay.
Ito ang RPN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
This is CNN Philippines. President Bongbong Marcos releases his first 2 executive orders abolishing some offices under the executive branch. Rex Remigio explains why Mr. Marcos abolished the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission as well as the offices of the Presidential Spokesperson and Cabinet Secretary.
President Bongbong Marcos earlier expressed concern about the government's funding for the rest of the year. And with the country not yet out of the woods when it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic, the administration says it wants to allocate resources as efficiently as possible. One way to do this is to streamline processes under the office of the President by abolishing some offices. Among them, the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission or PACC and the offices of Cabinet Secretary and Presidential Spokesperson. The Office of the Deputy Executive Secretary takes over the functions and powers of the PACC. These include the administrative cases of government officials it has been handling. President Duterte created the PACC in 2017 to weed out corrupt officials. The Presidential Management Staff or PMS, meanwhile, will handle Cabinet Secretariat functions. The PMS assists the Chief Executive on its daily functions, including meetings and trips. The late President Noynoy Aquino reinstated the Cabinet Secretary's office in 2012. It was then independent of the PMS, with the role of coordinating cabinet members. The palace says employees affected by the executive orders can get benefits under the law. Under Executive Order Number 1, the President also establishes the Presidential Advisor on Military and Police Affairs Office. Executive Order Number 2, meanwhile, reorganizes and renames the Presidential Communications Operations Office or PCOO to Office of the Press Secretary. The order also abolishes the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. The PMS will take over management of Radio Television Malacanang or RTVM and the Philippine Information Agency under the President's Office. Noynoy Aquino expanded media operations under his office by establishing the PCOO in 2012. There was also the now defunct Presidential Communications Development and Strategic Planning Office. Rex Remigio, CNN Philippines.
President Marcos marks his first week in office with steps to address problems affecting consumers and the transport sector. The chief executive met with energy officials today to discuss surging fuel prices. Among those who attended were Undersecretaries Donato Marcos and Roberto Uy. The President has yet to name his energy secretary. The Office of the Vice President is now offering medical and burial services in its satellite offices. The OVP says these services can be availed of through identified partner hospitals or direct walk-in applications. Applicants will be asked to submit requirements such as medical and death certificates. Vice President Sara Duterte opened 6 regional offices across the country on July 1st in a bid to expand the OVP's reach. These are in the regions of Ilocos, Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas, the Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao, and Caraga. The Sandigan Bayan defers a hearing on a civil forfeiture case against the family of President Marcos over alleged ill-gotten wealth. The Marcos family was supposed to begin presenting evidence today. However, the family's lawyer asked the Anti-Graft Court Second Division for more time to prepare their documents and witnesses. The court gave the Marcoses another month to prepare evidence. The case was filed in 1987 involving Marcos family business associates, spouses Rebeco and Erlinda Panlilio. The Marcoses supposedly used the Panlilios as dummies in acquiring properties through loans from government institutions during the administration of Ferdinand E. Marcos.
It's not that we're not ready, but we have to be sure that what we present to the court will stand judicial scrutiny po, no? So it's not that we're not ready. We really just have to make sure that we prepare the best defense for our client. We'll have to check, no, because as you know, our client is the president, so he has other matters to attend to aside from this one. But we will consult with the court regarding that.
Pre-trial hearing is set on August 5. Congress opens session in less than 3 weeks. Amor Santos reports a supermajority is already taking shape in the Senate, while it remains to be seen whether the minority bloc gets more allies.
With efforts to form a supermajority in the Senate in full swing, the fate of the minority bloc appears to be in limbo. Senator Coco Pimentel, who wants to be the minority leader, says he has yet to meet with the Cayetano siblings. He's eyeing to do so before the opening of session on July 25th. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano earlier said the only way he could be a fiscalizer in the supermajority is by being the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee. But the position has already been given to Senator Francis Tolentino, according to presumptive Senate President Mig Zubiri. Cayetano says he's still weighing his options. Opposition Senator Risa Ontiveros believes there may be a window of opportunity in the next 2 weeks, but she vows to ensure checks and balances in the chamber with or without new allies. According to political science professor Jean Franco, the minority needs to amplify its voice.
They are few in numbers, then what they need to do is really to get outside of the institution and gather support from different groups, because that's the only way you can do it. And also from other party lists and more independent-minded members of the House of Representatives.
Meanwhile, for Zubiri, the daunting task of forging a supermajority is over. As he assures they won't be a rubber stamp of the Marcos administration, Franco says they have to prove it.
I get sleepless nights, I have anxiety attacks, so yes. Siyempre napakahirap dahil it's a balancing act between wanting to please your senator members but also keeping the institution intact.
It's unfortunate that we have a supermajority, and usually when you have a supermajority, fiscalizing function of the Senate is compromised or weakened. It needs to be seen whether this incoming Senate will actually perform its function as a key fiscalizer of the executive branch.
Zubiri says key leadership positions are almost set in stone, and former Senate President Tito Soto agrees. Nothing, though, is official until elected by majority of the Senate. Amor Santos, CNN Philippines.
News overseas, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is set to resign following a rebellion in his Conservative Party. A Downing Street spokesperson says the embattled leader plans to address his country in the coming hours. Over 50 members of the British government have resigned to protest Johnson's leadership. The UK Prime Minister has been involved in a series of scandals that forced even his strongest supporters to abandon him. Johnson will remain in his post until his party picks a new leader. Back here at home, it is the turn of farmers and advocates arrested in Hacienda Tinang in Tarlac during a bunkalan or land cultivation activity to sue the prosecutor who handled the complaint against them. The group, they call themselves at Tinang 83, accuses acting provincial prosecutor Mila Montefalco of grave and serious misconduct, gross ignorance of the law, and conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service. They argue Montefalco held inquest proceedings in an unfair and discriminatory manner. The farmers want the prosecutor relieved from her post and dismissed as a public lawyer. The Capas Municipal Court junked the malicious mischief and illegal assembly charges against the Tinang 83. The Food and Drug Administration is investigating some instant noodle products that supposedly have a high presence of a harmful chemical. That's after authorities in France, Ireland, and Malta issued health warnings and recall orders against Lucky Me instant noodles. The European country said certain Lucky Me products have high levels of a pesticide called ethylene oxide. Manufacturer Modenisin clarifies that it does not add the chemical in their products and maintains that they follow food safety standards. Health Undersecretary Mario Rosario Vergeres says officials will only pull out specific batches from the market if the FDA finds harmful chemicals in them.
So kung ano man po ang matagpuan ng ating Food and Drug Administration na talagang with the presence of this specific component or chemical, yun lang po yung tatanggalin sa merkado. Pero katulad ng sabi ko nga kanina, aantayin po natin yung resulta ng investigasyon na sinasagawa ng Food and Drug Administration.
Vergeres says ethylene oxide may cause headaches, nausea, vomiting, loose bowel movements, difficulty in breathing, and fatigue. Sports and entertainment stories coming up on Newsnight. A Tokyo Olympic swimmer is switching from Team Canada to Team Philippines. And trending online are new projects under Netflix, including a live-action adaptation of a famous anime series.
SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay. SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay.
Ito ang RBN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
Welcome back to Newsnight. Making headlines in sports, Gilas Pilipinas player William Navarro is taking his talents to the Korean Basketball League. Korean news site Jump Ball reports Navarro is suiting up for the Seoul Samsung Thunders. The former Ateneo Blue Eagle is set to join the squad after the FIBA Asian Cup in Indonesia, which ends on July 24th. And two-time Olympic medalist Kyla Sanchez commits to donning the country's colors after competing for Canada in the last 6 years. The Filipino-Canadian swimmer, however, must complete a one-year residency before she can represent the flag in international events, with a possible stint in the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Now that I'm older, I'm more independent, and I think now is a good time to bring what I do and what I love here in the Philippines. Freestyle, sprint freestyle events. That has been my biggest role on the international stage. So hopefully, and I know I will, improve through swimming here and in a new training environment. I want to achieve great things for the Philippines, so let's say gold medal, and you guys can hold me to it.
Sanchez made her international debut for Canada in 2016 and has since established herself as one of the most prominent Phil-Canadian athletes. Entertainment news now. Good news for K-pop and K-drama fans. The Korean reality show In the Soup, Friendcation, featuring V of BTS, Park Seo-joon, and many other stars, premieres July 22nd. The series will center around the so-called Wooga Squad, composed of 5 stars who met on the set of the drama Hwarang and became friends. It'll follow them as they take a vacation in the forest, or soup in Korean. The show will stream on Disney Plus, which is not yet available here in the Philippines. Netflix announces a bunch of new projects from the creators of Stranger Things that are now in the works. The Duffer Brothers are setting up a production company called Upside Down Pictures, which is creating a live-action series of the famous anime Death Note. The streaming platform has released a non-animated movie adaptation before, but it mostly received negative reviews. And expect more monster fighting in alternate dimensions with a spin-off of the sci-fi hit Stranger Things, also in production. The next season of the record-breaking series is the 5th and final one. Also making a buzz online, the trailer for Amsterdam, showing off an A-list Hollywood cast. Among them are singer Taylor Swift and award-winning actors Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, and Anya Taylor-Joy. The film revolves around 3 friends who must clear their names after becoming crime suspects.
We formed a pact, and we swore to protect each other, no matter what. Tax the rich. We find ourselves in a situation where we're accused of killing someone, which is not true.
Amsterdam, set in the 1930s, scheduled to land in theaters this November. And that is it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Ontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
Ito ang